teamfight composition. They had a lot of disengage with things like the Gragas, the Lee Sin, and it does feel like the Lee Sin is becoming a bit of a priority jungler for a lot of these teams, and I'm expecting it to be one of the more contested ones coming into this draft right now.
Yep, well, they were obviously watching that last game. Galio gets banned out first from the side of Gigabyte Marines, and they'll see the Zillion. Can't Killian the Zillion, so they take it out right away. 18 seconds here as we're in phase 1 for Virtus.pro.
Now that was played by Optimus earlier on in the day with the whole Ziggs comp that they had crafted for themselves. He was pretty good with those ultimates as well, so he was keeping a lot of his team members alive. And the fact that we're seeing the Galio taken away from Virtus.pro definitely means that they do not want to be playing against any of these protect the 80 carry comps.
So far, 3 members of the composition we just saw coming in from Lion Gaming. Almost. The Kha'Zix, however, is different. There's the Ziggs banned out from Slay. Definitely grabbing respect from that. It feels so good to get a champion like that on an opposing team's ban list when it's Ziggs. You free up your other 80 carries.
Yeah, think about what is available right now. Ivan was something that the Marines banned earlier on that now is up and available. In their game versus Lion, they had Graves banned away, they had Kennen banned away. Like, there are a lot of champions that Lion felt that Gigabyte shouldn't have, but now they have access to them.
Might have gotten 1 or 2 Iverns already. I only remember the call because they threw it in with a Jarvan.
I feel like they should just pick up the Graves right now. I think it's a good chance
true.
for Levy. We saw it earlier on work out beautifully with the Graves and the Zillion combo that they had. Their very first game of the day. I think it's just a very well-rounded champion, and he's pretty safe as well.
He's gone on the Lee Sin for aggression, and now even more aggression and damage on that Graves for early. Little hover on that Sona, the usual for Doxy.
Shout out to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who's a Sona main.
There you go. Isn't that nice? Got a nice interview with him earlier talking about the team with Effia. Shox is on site giving us the lowdown on how the players are feeling. It seems crazy. Obviously, they've all been saying the crowd is amazing, but it must be stressful here to travel and to not find results, as other teams are climbing in the standings already, and you got to face people like Supermassive that are 3-0 coming out of A, and a possible 3-0 here from Gigabyte Marines.
But that's the question, right? Like, who can let themselves win? I feel like I've seen a lot of positives from Virtus.pro, as well as a couple of negatives, especially when they play around Vision. But right now, Virtus.pro, they are getting a lot of comfort picks. Cryox likes to play on these early playmaking junglers, like the Lee Sin, like the Kha'Zix, like the Elise. And the most played top laner for Doxy is this Nautilus. It's something that he's very comfortable on. It enables him to make a lot of great plays. And I feel like that after they got surprised in their last series, or in their last game rather, by having that early tower play happen and early tower taken, they've adapted and they've been able to learn a few more tricks that they can then better adapt to coming into this game.
It won't be the easiest thing, but seeing a Kennen top now that you have a Lee Sin in the jungle makes it a little bit harder for him to kind of just beat on that tank that Nautilus will be. So I like the composition switch up there. Leaving the Kennen open, they may just focus Stark in the top side to get him down. His Gragas was kind of the catalyst to Gigabyte Marines win last game. Oh, locked in. I thought it was just going to be the friendly hover.
So this is actually something that I believe it was Archie has actually brought out. Let me have a quick check of my notes. Like, this is a jungler that is very well, a support that is very much about being able to play aggressively down in the bottom lane. A lot of poke, a lot of harassment can come out from Sona, but we have not seen it in such a long time.
Well, go ahead.
One of the biggest risks that you have is that she's so squishy and so immobile. Like, sure, she is great for setting up a lot of these big plays. You've got the flash ulti, you've got all the poke and the sustain in lane. But if she gets caught out of position, she has one of the lowest base health stats in the game. She is squishier than a piece of paper, my friend.
I mean, we're looking at the Nami a lot. We're looking at the Zyra a lot, the Brand a lot. All of those bring poke. One of them brings sustain. And like you said, with the kind of the scare of picking it, now you have that poke sustain again in a different champion. We'll see how they play it. Archie always likes to diversify, as we know.
So now for Virtus.pro, like, the thing is as well, you don't actually know where that Kennen's going to go, right? So this could be a Kennen Sona bottom lane, which is a bit of an obnoxious bottom lane to have to deal with. And so Virtus.pro are under the assumption that that Kennen is not on the AD carry position. They're banning away the Ashbury, likely to ban away the Varus as well, so some of the big power picks are taken off the board. And this means that Slay can either go towards the Caitlyn, or he can he can pick up the cannon himself, and then they can look to try and get themselves a bit more of a powerful counter pick in the top half of the map.
Hit up Optimus. Optimus still has his Ari to pick in here. If it is not taken away, still a safe pick that can be grabbed by Virtus.pro without really seeing what's in mid. And it has been a big pickup for teams here in day 2. Final ban, 13 seconds. GIGABYTE Marines knows this situation. They're going to use it.
Let's not forget, Santas picked Blitzcrank earlier on in the day into a Karma.
I thought you were going to tell me not. Don't forget Santas. I was like, all right, I won't. I won't.
But like, there is no better pick than a Blitzcrank into like a Sona, because you can nuke her down so easily. Like, if you want an immobile, squishy champion to very easily catch out of position, the alternative is you go for a Thresh. A little bit more utility, a little bit more playmaking, which is a little bit safer in lane as well.
There's those few lanes where you're like, just focus the support.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about the AD carry. Just go for the support. Yeah, there's the Ari. Gonna do that blind, as it actually is a very strong pick for Optimus. And that's how they were able to split a lane and really spread their last team thin.
Now,
it's Lion.
Thinking about good picks into Ari, you could go for Syndra. I've always considered a pretty decent matchup. The problem with Syndra is she can't really go into a side lane later on and match it.
Yeah.
Other possibilities are I think it's risky to go for.
Still have the Echo. You can play safe. Oh no, you don't.
Echo's been banned away. Yeah. You could go for an assassin like Talon or Zed. Make it a little bit more of a skill matchup.
Yeah, you have a good amount of AP around the board. You're right.
Yeah, you do. But instead, he's just going to pick it safe. Yeah, this was what we were talking about a little bit earlier. In terms of laning phase, Syndra's absolutely fine.
Wave.
Every time Ari tries to jump in, she's instantly going to get nuked down by the ultimate.
What will the last pick counter be?
I mean, there's a real good possibility that it can come out.
No, I think it should be the Blitz as well for that bot lane. However, people do kind of see the Blitz. It's not as it used to be, as Mistake would take it, right? And then kind of control the game. But the Blitz is kind of that one-off. You're going to pull somebody in, but it doesn't make the composition. So it looks like they decide to go with something else. The Gragas gets put into support. This is what Stark used, as we said. They're going to flip it. I mean, it could go either way.
It could go either way.
They're going to flip it. More strength and CC all the time from Santas on Nautilus.
You still have the hook. You still have all-in down the bottom lane. It does result in a powerful all-in bottom lane for the side of Virtus.pro. And the Gragas holds out a little bit better into the Rumble because you have a little bit more sustain. You can trade a little bit more effectively. So I think Virtus.pro, they're pretty happy with their draft overall. They have,
too.
Yeah, they've got a great setup around the map. They have a favorable bottom lane in terms of all-in, but they will sustain a lot of harassment, and that'll be the same for Rumble. So in terms of early pushing power, it's definitely in the favor of GIGABYTE Marines. And what we saw from Levi earlier on in the day was he is an individual that knows how to use pushing lanes. He will come into your lane, he will stand there, and he will chunk out your turret using the effectiveness of this Graves.
We'll have to see how fast the junglers go off. In this one, it's been a lot between them in the first 5 minutes. The laning phase has kind of relied on them. And it's been all about 3 buff starts or just denying buffs to start. Final game here, day 2 of the MSI plans. GIGABYTE Marines 2-0 versus Virtus.pro 1-1. Their victory here would give us quite the tie in Group B to start things off.
And I'm excited to see a Sona, Riv. We haven't seen a Sona in a while.
Are you ready?
I'm ready for the Flash ulti, into Rumble ulti, into Cannon ulti, into the... I don't know what you'd call that. The slicing. I don't even know what Sona's ultimate's called.
The slicing crescendo.
The slice. Oh, that is so cool.
There you go.
This is why you're the play-by-play. You're ready.
All the knowledge just pours out of the beard. GIGABYTE Marines versus Virtus.pro. We are going into game, and this is imperative for Virtus.pro. They've been off for 2 games now on the day. They've been able to watch the last 2 of GIGABYTE Marines, Lion, and then Lion facing ISG, so they have an idea of what GIGABYTE Marines' play style is. And here they go to the bot lane. They're thinking we can already get the Sona, but Slay is just on the outside, and they miss his coattails.
Good respect there from Slay, aware of the possible map movement from the VP lineup down to the bottom half of the map. But GIGABYTE Marines, they're going to very swiftly use this as an opportunity to get a bit of deep vision down. They want to spot out where Kraux is starting his jungle pathing. Stark wants to know how much he can push before he should consider a possible jungle gank. Well, they may very well go for a pick themselves, as Doxy could very well drop a ward to see if their buffs end up getting stolen.
This is the kind of stuff I like. We see a lot of gentlemen's agreements to where somebody will hit raptors, you'll mess with a raptor, you'll hit something, switch it up. Everybody showed bot, try to show in the jungle. All right, the auto attack hits it up. Doxy's like, thank you very much. He's going in again. He's gonna go back. He's safe. He's safe. He knows what he's doing.
He's good.
He's doing that drunken master. Just gonna waltz in and waltz out.
The drunken fist style.
So great wards by Giga.
Yeah, good deep vision coming out from the side of the GIGABYTE Marines. They used it pretty effectively, were able to punish Doxy. He's now going to lose one of his health pots, which will make sustaining in the matchup a little bit harder. But regardless, the damage has been done. GIGABYTE Marines, they will steal away the red buff. And you can now look at the pathing of Crux. They know that the GIGABYTE Marines were a little bit slow. He's feeling pretty confident that he can move into the enemy jungle. And as long as Paranoia looks to play a little bit forward in the laning phase, he can feel confident that Syndra won't rotate down.
And you can even see him, he's hugging down towards where Crux is. But also coming is Levi, looking to get this flash out of Paranoia. Every time he tries to get that flash out of the opposing mid laner, this time it's an easy walk out as Paranoia was already playing a safe side.
Well, the question is, Levi, could he walk into Crux? No.
Oh, whoa. I wondered how many autos he was gonna get in there, not knowing exactly where Levi was, but Crux is saying, I'm going in if you're going in, and the jungler's here.
Message was sent.
Message sent.
He wrote a lovely handwritten letter. Dear Optimus, I wish to pay you a visit, and now I will leave.
High five.
Great seeing you. Until the next time. So still level 2 for both junglers. Levi has, in fact, just picked up level 3. Let's move back to the bottom lane, because we actually haven't had a chance to talk much about it, seeing as we are actually running with a Sona Kennen bottom lane. One of the rarer bottom lanes, something that you don't very often see. And as we talked about early on, it's actually quite oppressive in terms of the amount of harassment that you throw out. Sona going to be taking a couple of early points in her Q so that she can get this damage down, but there might be a kill in mid.
Oh, the exhaust comes down immediately. Paranoia's going to get saved by the safeguard. He goes down to last hit from Optimus. This will be a cleanup, though. It is first blood, but a little bit of gold to Crux, a little bit of gold to Paranoia now.
So, unfortunately for Paranoia, he stayed around a little bit too long. Optimus was able to get that solo kill, but Crux, he was reading the setup. He was understanding what was happening around this middle lane, and he was there relying in wait. Now, this could have been very bad for Optimus, because if that wave had hit the tower and bounced back, then that would have resulted in a big experience advantage actually going in favor of Paranoia. But Levi, he comes to the mid, he makes sure to push in the minion wave,
Levi.
and the minion wave is now going to get soaked up by the tower, so it's not that bad. As Archie now gets hooked up.
Teleport topside, so that
he's
won't
dead.
be coming bot. The auto travels with the flash. One of the most unfortunate events, and they will be able to play on that again.
Riv, do you remember us talking something about, like, I don't know, Archie being, like, thinner than paper and, like, being super squishy? Like, that's what happens when you get hit in the face by an anchor. The all-in power of this Ezreal.
And what happens to paper when it gets wet?
It crumbles.
Exactly. It's even worse. And that's what Santos is doing. The slows, the hits. You were right. The lane is playing out in the way that they just focused Archie. And that flash down, summoner heal down, they're going to keep going.
But this is exactly the way in which Archie didn't want to be playing the lane. Like, he should be using the minion waves as like a shield to harass, right? But instead he walks up too far, he ends up getting punished for it, and now VP, they're not going to be too afraid of actually the sort of pressure that Slay and Archie are looking to put out. You can already see a big CS discrepancy starting to develop in the bottom half of the map.
They have that pushed up to the turret. Luckily for Slay, he's happy to get back and soak it up. We'll see what these first buys are. Obviously, building in lane scaling items for blasting, but that doesn't mean Santos can't get in again once that ignite is back up and just take down Archie. Crux in his own jungle, able to kind of just pick everything up. Levi not having as much of aggression game inside the opposing jungle.
Meanwhile, Stark, he's being as aggressive as he likes up in the top lane. Now, as an individual, Stark is very well known for playing these sort of champions, right? We talked earlier on about how he likes to play things like the Renekton, and like the Kennen, like the Jace. But Rumble really does fit into his repertoire where he likes to have control over his laning phase. And along with Levi, while he doesn't necessarily get a huge amount of jungle attention, Levi is very good at taking advantage of this pressure, especially on champions like Graves. You do not be surprised to see him move up to the top side of the map when Stark gets around level 6, where they'll try and look for a dive, or they'll look to try and get themselves an early turn.
And they're both bash buddies as well. They'll go in together. That's the way Stark loves to play. The champions you just mentioned, Jace, the Gragas, now Rumble even. You face first when you're going to initiate. You throw the equalizer down, you say, here I come, right? Gragas body slam, Jace to the skies. He loves that all-in play. And Levi helps to be the catalyst with those plays. The 1 kill so far to Optimus in the mid lane. That Syndra pick was last. To see what he could do against the Ari in mid. Hello?
It's just, he gets stunned.
He got the end of the line against the wall. It doesn't come back. I thought it hit the wall, but absolutely gets taken out. He was waiting a minute, checking the map, and stood right in front of Levi.
Yeah, there was a moment where Krox literally just stood there, and he was like, wait a minute, and then all of a sudden Levi comes out of the brush. Optimus gets the stun.
It's like he was standing in the bush. He goes, Korea.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Guys, did you hear that? Paranoia. Is that you?
All right, so VP's going to head back towards bot. Getting a few plays for themselves now here as they try to gather what's happening to the top side. We'll see if they can add the damage back down to Archie and Slay in the bot. 5 and 4 are the levels, so it's going to be a 6 and 6 on the side of VP for a possible all-in first once they reach it.
And now we'll really start to see a big level difference between the junglers as well. So while VP got themselves a bit of an advantage down in the bottom lane, that will be returned with the advantages that the Marines have in the top half of the map. Level 6 for Levi, level 7 now for Stark, with a pretty significant CS advantage over his lane counterpart. Look at all this vision investment as well. You can very clearly see that the GIGABYTE Marines are saying, I think our next objective will be the top lane.
Yep. Also the team that has no trouble going for the Rift Herald if they have time to. We're able to give that to Stark previously on his Gragas game. Just made him that much bigger. Levi now to suck up the resources in the jungle to make sure they can make some forward plays. Looks like if he even goes for Krugs, they'll be able to get to a lane just after this, and mid is pushed.
Keeping my eyes on the possibility of a Drake right now as Levi. He's walking over all the vision.
Yeah, he's hatching wards.
They will be timing out just about now, so it does look like GIGABYTE Marines. They know they have the push in mid with Optimus. They know that Levi is the stronger jungle right now, and they probably feel pretty confident to maybe even force a fight, especially with Stark being level 7, knowing how potent that Rumble ultimate is. That dragon is a big target for them to try and get.
Mid lane just on the reset, calls both mids back. That was a push by Optimus, but Paranoia was able to clean it up, so things fizzle out here. As they say, I want CS. We can fight, but I want my CS. We know how mid laners are.
Stark actually taking a bit of a bad trade up in the top lane, very nearly having to force his flash, but Doxy asserting his dominance over his opponent. Now, bear in mind there is a ward, but I don't know if it'll be too late.
Yeah, quick, he gets himself out. Oh, very nice equalizer, hits it. Will they get the scatter? He does, throws down the unleashed power. What a dodge! The heal from the ability use. He's gonna pick up a kill for himself too. The final few plays from Doxy gets himself a kill.
Best case scenario for Doxy. That extra tower shot, the side steps, the W, everything coming together in order for him to get himself the return kill. And now the pressure comes out from Virtus.pro onto that mid lane tower, but also worth praising Optimus. He flashed in, reading the flash from Doxy. He knew the play that was going on in his mind. He's able to get himself the stun, but they were just expecting a little bit more damage to come out off the back end. They were expecting to just nuke Doxy down before he can get away. Now a dive happens in mid.
One good play to match another in the top, so will we get one here in the mid? Teleport comes in as Stark says mid's pushed, or top push, sorry, mid needs to be pressured. And Creox does get out alive. That equalizer is down halftime right now, so waiting on the engages, but GIGABYTE is playing very fast to make sure they don't lose any pressure. See this again for the top side.
Now you can see that the path that Optimus takes is a slightly longer one, but it also gives Doxy the least amount of time to respond. And notice how well he predicted the flash coming out from Doxy. The small bit of health regeneration that Doxy ended up getting, Stark felt like he had to go for the flash, but it didn't end up costing him his life. And when you invest 2 members into a single gank, if you're able to get a return kill, that's absolutely fine. And now he's the one in a CS advantage. He's the one that's actually gotten himself a very early cowl. And now this laning phase is going to be a lot more optimal for the strong top laner of Virtus.pro.
One big thing that really helped there was that was his first TP back to lane too. They've kind of been hanging out there. So he got to get back and get the wave at 4 or 5 caster minions that had not cleared out. 200 gold lead as we're pretty even on the home front here, 11 minutes in. Junglers having an assist in the kills, and also bringing that pressure to the mid and top side. What we've seen in the bottom has been quite the bottom today. Really not a lot of jungle pressure coming down there.
Nope. We talked about it at the top of the day where really from all these teams, it's all about those mids and jungle, right? Like that's what we're expecting to see. You've got players like Paranoia and Optimus, along with individuals like Emp, as well as a fight in bottom lane.
Slay going down, possibly gets a good heal, gets the hit. There's the crescendo, slicing Maelstrom just on the outside, more of a stun bot than doing damage. And you can see Archie trying to stay in front of Slay, but the Mystic shots can't be matched by the Shurikens.
So just a lot of summoner spells burnt, the all-in power coming in strong from the side of Virtus.pro. But now, GIGABYTE Marines demonstrating that their all-in isn't too bad either. We see Kreox and both junglers, in fact, moving towards the bottom side. They're primed and ready, and you talked about jungle presence in the bottom half of the map, Riv, but it looks like they want to get involved.
Whoa, well, Midnight might not be joining that. If it is, it's Paranoia. Optimus, with the blue buff, still has the power to make this fight happen. He might try to bait that in. A little smoke screen over the wall, as that has been a push-up by Kreox in the bottom as he's hatching that ward. Now notices as he gets a little minion love.
So VP not able to find a successful gank, and Levi just hanging around the mid to basically say, you know what, I'm tired of you harassing my mid laner. Now we have an all-in the top.
Throws the Leandri's equalizer down, not doing as much damage as he wanted. And thought he would just be able to kind of stall out Doxy on that play. Nothing came of the bottom play. Kreox already going to the mid lane as he is just moving. Him and Levi get some freaking flyer miles on this game. They are everywhere.
I wonder if there were a bit of mind games in that top lane all-in, because Stark, I feel like, should have died.
Yeah.
But Doxy was just afraid to commit because of the possibility of a jungler. Now we see an all-in from the bottom lane of
VP. Threads it through the minions. Casters to melee. Crescendo's down about 75% on that CD right now, so they'll be able to walk this one out. And there's the sustain. Kind of, you would get that from a Na'Vi, but now you can do a little bit more damage with this Zona, and they just push him off.
VP, they did what they wanted. They're able to get a bit of chunk damage down. They ideally would have wanted a kill, but with the presence of Levi and a big minion wave, they decided that they cannot commit. So returning to normality. But keep your eyes on Kreox. He's hanging around the middle lane. He sees the mid wave being pushed. He's not going to find any avenues. The Dragon's still available, Rev. These teams already putting much value on getting that early Cloud.
It's a windy, windy day on the Rift, Phidias. It seems like it'll stay that way with Cloud Drake. Clean up in the top side as Stark has his lane pushed. He looks for a little bit more. Almost got the charm. Collateral damage as well over the shoulder of Optimus from Levi. And Paranoia is literally getting everything GIGABYTE Marines have to offer today. He is having a rough mid lane.
Now he has been forced back, so the GIGABYTE Marines feel confident to go for this play. Kreox gonna make a cross-map play.
Yeah.
He realizes, you know what, I can't really do anything in mid, can't do anything in bot, so let's try and get ourselves a tower up top. And the fact that Doxy has been playing this matchup so beautifully enables them to take down this structure and get themselves an even further goal advantage.
Doxy absorbing that pressure. We just spoke about Paranoia having a rough lane, but almost even in CS and only died once to everything that actually has been in his lane. So some early game praises sung to Virtus.pro as GIGABYTE Marines still making their own moves. Still getting their own results here. Possibly stopped on the bot side by the turret. Gonna knock him back right into it. Oh my word. Levi is just stuck under the turret for an extended period of time. Very nicely done. And the teleport alert wasn't even enough for GIGABYTE Marines to get out.
Ends up being a 1-for-1, but great decision making from VP, realizing an opportunity and taking it. Unfortunately for them, though, they still lost their support. They still ended up losing their tower. And now Kreox is trying to push in mid lane, but Optimus is already on the move.
See how much he can get. He may be able to just get a few kicks in and head out towards the top side once he sees him. And I think that will be all she wrote for that.
So Virtus.pro, they tried their best to defend that bot tower. They didn't want to sacrifice it after already losing the Dragon. And the setup was actually beautiful because you get a great flash to lock Levi into the wall, the ultimate followed by the Nautilus ultimate as well. But then you have the slicing crescendo to shut down the Nautilus, preventing him from being escaping the equalizer that was just burning through that heavy armor.
The end of that fight shows not a bit of life. Both teams are very much in this, but life to the fights for GIGABYTE Marines. That crescendo paused everything for them to turn it around. And that's a scenario they'll likely have a lot. It's almost like playing a Cassiopeia disengage at this point.
Exactly.
You get hit, you blast right back.
And it's this powerful disengage tool along with an engage tool, right, where the moment the enemy team try to force something onto you,
right,
you just turn it around on them instantly. And it's always something you have to be very aware of. And clearly, Archie has an element of proficiency on it. And so VP, they have to always be wary of whenever they try to force those all-in engagements.
See what sonnets he can write us. Beautiful songs as he plays amongst the rift in his members. Just still very even on gold right now. That Cloud Drake was picked up. Felt the breeze. GIGABYTE Marines himself a little bit more movement speed as sonic booms start to fly from their rear.
So now things have slowed down just a tad. We're approaching the 17-minute mark. The game is incredibly even. And for GIGABYTE Marines, they're actually steadily getting to a point that they want. They have pretty potent team fighting. They have good skirmishing power. The fact that they have this big wombo combo available to them is something that VP always have to be wary of. But VP, the fact that Paranoia actually going for the Gunblade first, very interesting itemization choice. Very similar to the build path that we saw from the likes of a LeBlanc. And it is very much a dueling, split-pushing style of play. So they're likely going to be looking to move Paranoia off to a side lane. They've already demonstrated that Doxy knows what he's doing in the 1v1. He's holding his own very effectively against Stark. And so we're likely going to be seeing this overall map movement of all three lanes from the side of VP.
I think they're going to pull themselves into a fight in mid regarding the fact that they only see 3 VP members. They back off, though. Virtus.pro. Doxy makes his way to the bot side to start farming it out with Stark. We'll see what Optimus and Levi can do here in the mid lane. They should be able to get a good bit of damage, but is it going to be Doxy's ult? Well, she's actually down, so it will not be his ult. He used it to disengage the last fight we actually just saw in that river.
Any Ari players, by the way? Ooh, flash engage.
Santa scattered as well. The ultimate goes over the wall, puts the shield down. He gets himself safe. 3 ultimates taken by Santos. What can happen here for GIGABYTE Marines? They might have to back off, but can VP find a way back in? Scattered away, Paranoia has nothing to offer with half cooldown on a Spirit Rush. Top lane's gonna get taken by GIGABYTE Marines, and while things are fizzling out, they're playing such a nuisance game that VP is not in the right spot.
Think about all of the different plays that happened there that went in favor of GIGABYTE Marines. They forced a flash onto Santos to try and get themselves a very quick kill, because even if they don't kill him, he's forced back to base. Blasting is now left in a 1v3 effectively. It gives GIGABYTE Marines full control over their jungle. Paranoia is forced underneath his turret, which means that GIGABYTE Marines can very effectively take down that tier 1 in the top lane. They've now gotten themselves a tower advantage and more control over the map. So it doesn't matter if they didn't get the kills, it's all about the pressure, and it's all about the ability to take these structures down, because at the end of the day, that's how you win the game.
Yep. Doxy's gonna have to very much so play a Gragas reminiscent of Stark's just a few games ago against Lion Gaming. Be able to go in every initiation, whether your team likes it or not, they'll follow you. And we saw that being the victory. Here, Doxy 2-1-0 is able to absorb quite a bit, but we still have a while before it seems like they can set up a fight. Dragon in 45 seconds, Baron in 30.
Yeah, Slay's going to have to clear this minion wave out pretty quickly and start making his way down. Surprised that they would actually send Stark down to the bottom lane, because, I mean, he still has his TP available. It'd be much better than have him going up against the Gragas. And sure, while Slay could very easily out-duel the Gragas, it's going to be difficult for him to get involved around this dragon fight. You really do need him when trying to set up vision control around that area. So, very important dragon coming up, especially for GIGABYTE Marines who have this very potent team fighting composition. And so if they can get themselves that objective, they're setting themselves up nicely for the mid game that is fast approaching.
Bit of rotation from Doxy. Might be able to route right around Optimus here. Good vision coming from both teams. Santos is out. Able to get a shield on to deny most of that front end burst. You can see the vision wars going down. VP with a lot of control wards. The few last control wards being set by GIGABYTE. But if they're already in place, that's what gives you the power. And that's why GIGABYTE Marines again did the Dragon first, and now with hardly any contest coming in from Virtus.pro.
Oh, and now the fight starts. The Equalizer goes down.
Nice disengage as well. Doxy over on the side as a lot of things are happening from the fog of war here for Virtus.pro, but they can't find the members they want to engage on. See if they can work around the ball. A good quick 3-stun there from Slay to stop that pressure.
Yeah,
Mid's still going to go down.
Which is a very good advantage. Now the fight continues.
Depth charge, double hit, Levi and Optimus on the back. Can he get the ult through? Tries to scatter, finds his target on Paranoia. Threads that needle, but can the team get behind that damage? Virtus.pro is doing what they can now to drop Stark. And it looks like Creox will be able to find himself a Levi in the jungle. Even though they might have found their targets, Virtus.pro just had too much power to start, and they're able to end it on their own terms.
Even though they end up losing the Dragon, they're able to get everything that they want. 4 kills go in the favor of Virtus.pro. They're likely going to be able to get this tier 1 down in the bottom lane as well, but keep your eyes on Slay. He set up the top wave earlier on. There is a big minion wave that's either going to get soaked up by the turret or going to get a chunk damage down. He's also sitting in the mid, and blasting is very slow to respond. So that's going to be a lot of chip damage down going into that tier 1 as well. So GIGABYTE Marines, they should still be able to get something back after what was a great engage from Virtus.pro. Locking down RG. Notice he lands a great stun onto Paranoia, and then a follow-up stun from Optimus. So it looks initially pretty good, but then it's 4 members versus 3. There's no way the GIGABYTE Marines can really turn this fight around, especially with Slay being completely out of the fight. He already used his flash earlier on in the mid lane. He was forced to take the long way round. But now they're saying, you know what, we lost a fight, but we're feeling confident. Let's go for the Baron.
But here comes Creox. He's going to be just on the outside. It feels like he knows what's going to happen. Uses the Scryer's Bloom, gets a Warden. Teleport's going to be coming in as well. What are they going to be in there for? 1,200 on it. It's going to be smited away by Levi, and the fight ensues. Creox in the back is low. Levi looks for Paranoia as he is looking at the back line, but there's no engage. Doxy falls. Here comes blasting in from the side. Will the Mystic shots fire true? He gets blasted out. Scattered by the weak, and a double kill for Archie on the Sona. The sustain is keeping everybody on their feet, and now they're on to blasting. The only thing VP can do is scratch their heads as he heads for the base in a Baron for GIGABYTE Marines.
Such a swift decision from GIGABYTE as they immediately go towards that objective. They know that they have full control around that objective, and they take it down so quickly with the Ken and with the Grave. They feel confident enough that they can get this smite. It's a gamble going for the 50-50, but they're able to get it. In this narrow choke point is where you see the power of this team fighting composition. They are all grouped up. VP are all split apart. They walk away with the objective. They walk away with the kills. And they also walk away with Optimus losing his life.
It's always too good, right? It's always too good. You want a little bit more because the plays are feeling great. And why shouldn't it? We saw the fight that VP won kind of down at Dragon to take bot turret. But like you said, Slay had the top turret push. He took down mid. It racks your brain to feel like you get that play and then look at the other side of the map and everything is pushing in as you wished you had that set up too.
And this just demonstrates the skill that GIGABYTE Marines do possess. They understand about not only just playing around a single lane, they actually understand how to play around the map. The issue that we're starting to see is their team fighting is not actually the strongest. Their coordination doesn't seem to be exactly on point. And that is a strength that VP certainly have. Their ability to make these fights happen is wonderful. But then they're not really playing the map properly. They're a little bit too slow on the trigger. Now Paranoia, he's going for the hero play.
Oh, he does have a few on him. All he has to do is buy some time here. One more Spirit Rush, get some distance, looking for the minion block. He's going to have a bit of the HP back on his Orb of Deception. But now it's the team. Can they capitalize on this? You lose a member, you want to get revenge, but they play it smart. And they're actually going to have to back as they're getting routed to their turrets.
You would think that with a name like Paranoia, you would show more respect and no vision. Instead, he ends up losing his life. And GAM, the Marines, they end up walking away without losing any members. They're going to get themselves, the turret. And they're looking to break into the base of Virtus.pro.
Still looking for blasting to fly under the radar and come out in these fights. 5-0-4, but the team of GIGABYTE Marines stays together so strong that blasting is forced to be shooting different full HP members as they micro themselves in and out to get the right plays. Now the turret's not even really there for them as they start to siege and engage under them. The equalizer goes back with Graves coming up. Levi's able to drop those super fast as well.
Optimus?
And Levi cannot drop the minions fast enough. Turrets are going to go down as blasting is just a little bit stronger on that. Levi gets locked up. He's the damage they need to drop the damage dealers, but it's not going to be enough. Kriox falls. There goes Santos and Paranoia. Stark lives with a sliver of health as he gets himself to safety, and it's a triple kill now coming in for Slay, also flying under the radar of Game, now exploding behind his team.
And the fight isn't even over yet, Slay.
Looking for the heals. Mystic Shot going to take him out completely. No slow to Archie there, but he doesn't have the movement speed for the spells to use. Now we're going to be locking this one down. It's always staying a bit too long, and both teams have that problem.
Now, while Virtus.pro have the kill lead, unfortunately, they have no control over this game. Optimus even ends up dropping, but just look at how much damage Virtus.pro end up taking. Archie with an ultimate down onto Kriox, not really the target that they want to be landing on, but then Slay, he's free to do all the damage that he wants. The slicing Maelstrom onto 3 members, really able to just shred through the lineup of Virtus.pro. They want to stick around for the inhibitor though. They feel good enough that like, we'll be fine, we got this. And then Doxy comes back, they end up losing a couple more members, and the bloodshed continues.
Oh, does it? 28 kills.
Oh!
There's the hit on Paranoia. Redemption coming in. Zanya's is going to be there, but it's only going to be for so long. Oh, Paranoia's going to burn down. He just stays. He knows what happened. Stark coming up with a beautiful setup for the team fight there. Kriox looking to get onto Levi, but he's not going to have enough distance, and he doesn't really have anywhere to go. Was hoping to use Doxy's ultimate, but pulls the team away so his team can get away safely as Gigabyte Marines again come back from dying to start the batting order once again.
And it doesn't matter if Optimus dies because you still have Levi, you still have Shy, and you still have Stark. The Gigabyte Marines have been dominating the rest of these fights. Virtus.pro have not been able to get the setup that they want, and now picking themselves up another dragon. There's still an inhibitor taken down. Gigabyte Marines are free to do as they please.
Whew. Almost at 30 minutes on this one. We have max 31 kills so far. 52,000 to 49. We'll see this one more time.
Such
the
a good
flash into the scatter. There's not much you can do about that.
Really love the play from Optimus. He still has been a standout performer for the Gigabyte Marines. And again, even though he loses his life, just think of the resources that were invested into trying to get that kill.
Yeah.
That just set up nicely for Gigabyte Marines to get themselves a turnaround fight. Kriox, he's on the back line, but he can't do anything. He's level 15 Levi, and they are in full control right now. They're starting to spread out across the map. They know that they can start playing on all 3 lanes. Group up as a 4-man unit top, keep Stark in the mid, and just slowly whittle your way into the rest of the base of Virtus.pro.
Ooh. Void staffs now for Stark and Optimus. Basically rushing through, blasting now. He's actually gone with the Ninja Tabis to stay alive from Levi. And Slay, what they're doing in the fights is actually giving a lot of people the idea for Ninja Tabis this game on the side of VP.
You know, blasting, a bit of the hidden hero for Virtus.pro. 7-0-6 this game.
Unsure how.
He's just been a consistent performer, never really getting caught out, except for Stark, who might be caught out right now.
Yeah, but they're going to fight on top of the equalizer. Optimus comes in huge with another play from himself. And now they're going to be going. It only takes 2 members to turn an entire VP fight. That does not spell good things. Spells great things for Gigabyte Marines as they head into the base. The second inhibitor now in their eyes to take down. They have a 2nd-tier turret in the top. I don't even know if they'll go back for it.
Gigabyte Marines, they have 5 members strong. They have 2 inhibitors down, and they are looking to go 3-0 in the group.
Supermassive made their mark on Group A with a 3-0. Can Gigabyte Marines do it? The final touch is being put. The nail in the coffin 30 minutes in onto Virtus.pro. And it looks like the final Nexus turret isn't even the focus. They know how ahead they are. They are confident in their play, and they are looking to make a beautiful 3-0 on Group B.